What up? Welcome to Day to Day with Jay here in LA, where I'm from. I decided to shoot this documentary really for a lot of people who ask, like, who are you? Where'd you come from? I listen to you on the radio. You're crazy. Um, where do you get the stuff you talk about from? And, what made you come to North Carolina? So what I'm going to do is shoot a documentary, kind of explain it all, and also show you where I started from. I also talk to some people that I know in the industry that are dream chasers, and most importantly, I hope this video encourages people to chase their dreams and to get out and do things that other people don't think that you can do. And show you that I didn't just wake up one day and then all of a sudden I was on the radio, or I just called the radio station in North Carolina and said, hey, can y'all put me on the radio? It took a lot of time and effort, dedication, traveling, work, and all of that to get there. So right now, you're welcome to Day to Day in LA with Jay while I'm on vacation here in sunny California. Today, I think the high is 70. I actually had to go out and buy some shorts today because I thought it was going to be hot. But right now, we're going to jump on the road, head over to KDAY, K-Day, which is... It's a new hip-hop station, but when I was growing up, K-Day was the only hip-hop station in LA, and it was an AM station that they played all the hip-hop on. Matter of fact, if you know producer Dr. Dre used to be on that radio station. Also, shouts out to Julio G, one of the people I looked up to when I was interning in radio, works there. Another guy named PJ Butter, who I started with. I came in as an intern, working up under him as well. So we're going to go over to K-Day. It's a newer version. The FM version plays old school hip-hop, a radio station, which is a unique format, just dedicated to classic old school hip-hop. So we're going to jump on the road, head over to Wilshire Boulevard, and talk to my girl, Brandy Garcia. Now, the interesting thing about Brandy Garcia is I know Brandy. One of my first jobs in radio was in Tallahassee, Florida. And this girl, Brandy Garcia, wasn't even full-time. She used to work on the weekends and do a mix show. Now this chick is doing a full-time radio show in the #2 radio market in the country. #2, only second to New York. #2. That means she getting big dollars right now. Lots of money. Y'all ready? Let's go.
Hey yo, this is the remix. I ain't say that in a minute. Miguel.
Like the funny thing about this, did we ever meet when I was in Tallahassee?
Nope.
I think we never met, but I knew of her, Brandy Garcia, and I'm gonna tell you the great thing about this stuff.
We knew each other subliminally. She worked for the competition when I was in Tallahassee, Florida.
Yeah,
but 100.7 to beat.
Yep. The great thing about it is she's a dream chaser, and I remember her as a part-timer, and she went from being a part-timer in Tallahassee, Florida. So kind of explain your story, like from Tallahassee all the way to now you in the #2 market in the country.
Crazy. I actually grew up in Tallahassee. So it's funny because I never thought that I would be here. I just, I grew up listening to the radio. I would visit my abuelita, which is my grandma, down in Miami every summer, and I would listen to Power 96, and I used to call up to the radio and try to win prizes. So for me, just to be on the radio period was like a dream come true. And I used to listen to JoJo McToy growing up, and he did nights at 96.1 Jams. And so long story short, somehow I just worked my way in there little by little when I first got out of high school. And then, kept on working, kept on hustling. Every holiday I was working, didn't get no Christmas, no New Year's, none of that.
Right.
And then I finally got offered my first full-time gig in Huntsville, Alabama. And the funny part about it was I didn't even know what that was on a map. I was like, okay, well, it's full-time. Let me just step out on a limb, step out on faith. And I went for it. And my whole family thought I was crazy. They're like, what are you doing? You don't know anybody there. You don't even know where it's at. What the hell are you doing? And I went for it. I was like, dude, it's go time. So I knew that if I made a sacrifice on the front end, that it would hopefully eventually pay off on the back end. Oh, let me check my phone. There we go. And then so it did work out. I was able to go in there. We wrecked house. We had a good station. And the funny thing is everyone that was at that station at the time, they're all in major markets now. From Huntsville, Alabama. Who would have thought? And so from there I was able to go make the jump from there to Houston, which is incredible within itself, but it just so happened I fit what they were looking for. I had a couple people put in a good word for me, and I was out there almost 6 years, like 5.5, 6 years, and then while I was still working there, I actually started doing voiceover work for K-Day, and they didn't even really realize that, but I was just trying to expand and do stuff on the side, and then when stuff went south in Houston, I was like, it's time to go, and you got to go to grow.
So when you moved here, you moved out here just to move?
When I moved out here, we were in initial talks to actually, for me to possibly do morning show. Be like a sidekick. So, that didn't work out. They were going to sell the station, so there was like a freeze on stuff. And it was just, it just didn't work out. But I still had, the voiceover gig. So I could still do that, still do promos, commercials, whatever. So they were like, well, just hang in there. And eventually, what the number one thing I learned in radio is if you want it bad enough and if you hang around long enough, it's just a matter of, it's a waiting game. So you got to want it bad enough and you have to prove yourself. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, if I hang around long enough, maybe I can get in there. And it worked out. Okay. Just such a blessing.
The funny thing was, when you're in Tallahassee, you didn't DJ. And now I follow you on Twitter, and now you're a DJ. And I think, you do a mix show with E-Zone?
You know what's funny? I got my first set of turntables when I was in college at Florida State. And so I used to watch, because I hosted both the mix shows on Friday and Saturday nights. So I hosted it with Frank Love on Friday nights. We had a Friday night street party. Mm-hmm. And then Saturday night, it was Club 100.7 with Jay Quick. And so I would watch them. We had a little small studio, and I would be on the mic, and they'd be right over here on the turntables. And I was like, dang, that looks so cool. I wish I could do that, because I'd never seen a girl do it. You got, the girls in L.A. and New York and stuff, but I never saw a chick from the South do that. And I was like, dude, I want to be that girl. So they were like, well, you need to get your own turntables and da-da-da-da. They were like, we'll show you how to do it, but you got to show us that you want it. I was like, okay, I got you. So they didn't think I was serious. They thought I was just, whatever, just trying to look cute and stuff. I was like, no, I'm really going to go get some turntables. So I went and got some tables. I was like, okay, got them. Show me how to do it. And I just used to come up there in the middle of the night. I'd be there 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning just practicing. And actually, JoJo would die laughing. He might remember this. There was one night where, I don't know, I would never do that now, but I was young and stupid. I just thought I would put myself on the air live and just mix it random 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And he was coming home from the club, and JoJo heard it, and he was like, what are you doing? He's like, you're crazy. He's like, well, I'll give you props, though. You got some balls for doing that. But it was awful. I was train wrecking. It was the worst probable DJ set you'd ever heard on the radio. I should have never been on it. I mean, had I done that nowadays, I would have got fired. But, back then, small market, whatever, nobody really knew about it, so.
Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, so I was always the DJ for the house parties, for whatever was going on in campus. They're always like, okay, you're in charge of the music. So then when I went to Huntsville, that's when I really started DJing, for real. I started right before I left Tallahassee. I had done maybe 2 or 3 spots. But I really started in Huntsville, and then obviously in Houston, that's where it really kicked in, and here I am. Now I DJ for Nike and Monster Cable. And actually, I mixed here on K-Day.
Mm-hmm. And you nominated, I saw McDonald's.
Yes, McDonald's Flavor Battle.
Yeah.
So.
Tell them how to find you on Twitter.
At DJ Brandy Garcia. And flavorbattle.com. Go vote for me. I'm actually in the lead right now. So I'm like, come on, I got to make the top 3 finalists so I can go down to Miami, go see my family, and go get this money in this Flavor Battle. So.
All right, thank you for talking to me.
I just want the same judge sitting on the case.
Productive day in LA, man. Shouts out to Brandy Garcia. You saw her. If you follow me on Instagram, J Blake's Crazy, follow me. You saw Tammy from Basketball Wives at Roscoe's. Now I'm headed back home. Gonna jump in the lab for a minute and start putting together this video. But it's gonna be a while before I get to the house. You wanna see why? See that? See that. That's called LA, 5 o'clock traffic. I would finish eating at 5 o'clock.